Hey there, my name is Chris. I am with a band called Offset Era. Today we're doing a little something different on our YouTube channel today. No, we're normally doing reactions to all sorts of different bands and genres and music all over the world. But at the end of the day, we've always have been musicians. We're really interested in that aspect of what we do. Obviously, we try to write music and we try to perform live, and we're always constantly trying to make that part of our lives easier. We're trying to learn about new instruments. We try to look at, new software, all that stuff. So in the interest of all that, what I'm trying to do and what I'd like to do at some point with this channel is not only have their normal reaction videos that we normally do, but I also want to see us try something different. So today I wanted to take a look at a specific topic. So if you've seen in the title, what we're trying to do today is we're checking out two different types of guitars. They're both Schecter C1, so I got this white one and I got this purple one. And I expected when I bought the purple one, I got the purple one on Facebook for $400 through the marketplace. I was told that it was never it was never played or rarely played or something like that. It was in good shape when I got it, so I did find some damage here, and I'll probably throw something on the screen that shows there was a little bit of damage to it, but it was nothing that would it was nothing detrimental that I couldn't just overlook. And then once I had that guitar, I just was impressed. I mean, the GravTech nut, the Grover tuners, the neck. My God, the neck. I'll show that on the screen now. The way they do these neck throughs, I don't know if, from what I've understood, it's not a complete neck through. I think it's just more of it's a set neck with they flush and sand down, so it's just like it looks like one piece. However they do it, they feel so solid. And then the neck on this particular purple one was just so fast. It was thinner than anything I've ever played. I've usually played like a C-shaped neck on the guitar. And this time, this was the first time I've actually played a flatter one. I think I may have played like a Jackson a long time ago. Felt like this particular Schecter was that sweet spot between playability and comfort. Being the guitar player I am, I always want something in duality because I always worry that I'm going to break a string. I'm going to have to pull out, what I'd call like a B style guitar, something that it's not my favorite, but it'll get me through a show. So that's what I was kind of thinking is like maybe I can get one, just a second one as like a backup, because I'm always thinking, if I have to switch to my secondary guitar, I want it to feel and sound as closely as possible to the other guitar for obvious reasons. You're in the middle of a stage show or something. It's really hard to just adapt to something completely different that you're not used to playing. And you could argue that you should be playing and practicing with multiple guitars, but there's only so much time in the day. And at the end of the day, I want consistency between my primary guitar and my backup. How do I find another one of these at this great deal? Obviously, these Schecters retail for something closer to like $700. So I was just like, okay, I don't want to spend $700 on this, and I know that in the used market I could get one for $400. And there was a ton of people that I went back and forth with on Marketplace, but at the end of the day, the first thing I could find and the best thing I could find was an eBay posting. It was saying it was refurbished, but it was a white one, which I thought was really cool looking. So I pulled the trigger on it and got it. And I was fully expecting both these guitars to be completely the same. They came with the same configuration, they're the same trim level, they're similar in price, their body style is the same. But when I started looking at these two guitars, I noticed a huge difference. The one made in Korea, the purple one, as you'll see here in these images, I'll show those on screen now. The back grain of the actual body of the wood is actually visible through the back of the finish on the Korean one. If you look on the Korean, the purple one, you'll notice that it's got all this like really great wood grain that you can see. On the Indonesian one, it looks like they actually painted it like a flat color. On top of that, the necks were very different. So on the, like I mentioned, the flat neck, the flat C-style kind of neck on the purple one. On the white one, it's more like a C-shape. It's almost like one of my Ibanez's that I have. I have a double cutaway Ibanez that I really like to play. And it's got kind of a fatter neck on it. And this one kind of reminds me of that. It's a little bit not as pronounced, but the neck is much different on that one. So I wasn't anticipating that. And the playability wise, everything, you can tune them in just fine. The fretwork and everything was good. On the white one, I did tighten down the truss rod because I felt like it just needed that. And it, boy, just tightening down the truss rod improved the playability of that guitar by tenfold. So I've been playing that one. I like the way that it sounds, or not sounds, because we'll talk about sounds in a minute, and that's another thing that we'll be doing on this channel. So we will be trying to shoot them out between each other. So we're going to try just, I'll show you the guitars, we'll showcase the different things. But this is really to explore the differences between the ones that are made in Korea and the ones that are made in Indonesia. So I wanted to show this, and I feel like this is just something that, you know, other Schecter enthusiasts might really want to watch. You might think this is interesting. I know it was a topic that I've seen on a couple of forums, you know, the differences between. Well, here's a video about what my experience is between these two guitars. So let's jump in to some sound. And I will, as we go through the sound clips here, I'll do my best to capture this. Let's jump into some sound comparisons and some additional commentary as I start to come up with and play these guitars. All right, so here we are with the purple Schecter, and I would say immediately this one in the hand, like I mentioned before, the neck feels like thinner. I love the binding on these guitars. They feel so amazing. There's no fret pop out or anything on it. There was no fret issues with everything. Everything was perfect. I didn't adjust this one at all. I didn't change the neck or anything. I think I messed with the action a few times just to make sure, because I did have to put heavier strings on it. We tuned down to drop C for our band. Everything's going to be contextual to that. That's going to affect tone and everything. I'm going to go ahead and jump into playing a couple things. I will go ahead and play the same riffs with the same settings on the guitar, on the amp, and on the settings there. I have this mic'd over there. Let's go ahead and flip now. I'm going to flip audio now. Okay, so that was some sound samples from the purple Schecter made in Korea. So next thing I will go ahead and do now is I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the white one. The only final comments I have after doing those sound tests is just how remarkably playable this guitar really is. The neck really is superior for playability in my opinion compared to these two. I don't know if this is all going to be always indicative of what you see from Korea and what you see from Indonesia, but so far what I've observed is the Korean one is a bit heavier, even though it doesn't seem to be. I tried to weigh to see if there were differences between them, and they weren't. I couldn't find any, but it feels heavier. I'm not sure why that is, Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's the cut of it. Maybe it's the way I wear this guitar. I mean, the strap could be different. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but it feels heavier for some reason, like heavier on my shoulder. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the other guitar. All right, so now we are back with the white Schecter. This is the one that was made in Indonesia. Right off the bat, I can tell you that this guitar here, even though it feels very similar in the neck and the binding, this neck is much, that neck is much fatter, I would say, than the other guitar. It's not so much, it's not as flat as I would say. I mean, it feels like it pockets your hand a little bit. It still feels great. It's still got the satin finish, just like the rest of the other one does as well. Still has the little flute, I think that's what that is called there, that little angled piece right there. I feel like this guitar is also a bit brighter than that other guitar, and maybe you guys will be able to discern that. Now, there's been some debate about this. I'm not trying to comment one way or another. I think there's some truth to a lot of things. But when there's high gain involved through, a very heavily distorted amp, a lot of the differences between two different guitars can kind of diminish. So that's why we are throwing some clean in here. Now, the clean is not going to be your typical just strumming of open chords. I don't do that kind of playing. I mean, I can if I wanted to, but it just, for the intents and purposes of what I do in the realm of what I play, it's going to be more ska rated and just weird noodling around, because that's kind of what I do in clean tone. So that's what you get. If you guys want more of that or anything, you guys of course let me know. If you want to see different types of playing for demonstration purposes, I'm all for just listening to your feedback when it comes to that. But for now, I'm just going to do what I think is comfortable for me. that was my observations here. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If I had to say the preference, it's gonna be the Indonesian one because of the brightness of it. I would say like it's got a slightly better brightness, and I used to play a lot of Telecaster. I actually came from a Telecaster for a long amount of time before getting into heavier music and needing something with humbuckers in it. I wasn't immediately taking with EMG. The first time I encountered EMG, it didn't go so well for me, and I didn't really quite like what I was hearing. I do have lower end guitars that have normal humbuckers in them, and I do hear more bass frequencies coming from those pickups. So I would say that the EMGs do seem to have some kind of low cut or some kind of, it doesn't get quite as rumbly, but the exchange for that is clarity. You get better clarity with these, and you get better punch, and you get better overall output, which then translates to gaining distortion, which is what I like, and I have to stack distortions just to get to where I want to be, and this makes that a little bit easier. But I love the feel. This one is actually much thinner around this part right here, so I noticed that as well. Like that to me is just nicer to have that thinness there. I like, it saves a lot of the weight if the weight doesn't feel so heavy on your shoulder. And I think that's maybe why these are so much different, is that, or even though that they're the same weight, that the weight feels different, is maybe the body on this is lighter and the neck is thicker, and makes it for the weight there, whereas on the other guitar the body is a bit thicker in this part, but the neck is thinner. So they all equate to about the same weight based on what I've discovered just by doing my own weight measurements on them. But anyway, my name is Chris. I'm with Offset Era. If you happen to like punk rock, alternative, or heavy music, you can definitely go check out our own music. It's all over Spotify, YouTube, here on YouTube, and it's all over any digital platform. We're currently making music. We're based out of Fort Myers and Cape Coral, Florida area. We're like a three-piece punk core is what Sam would call it, our bass player. But yeah, if this is something you like, and if it was a video that you found interesting or engaging in any way, please make sure you let me know, and maybe I'll make a few more of these. But thank you again for watching. I hope this was insightful in some way, and I hope you have a great day. Peace out.